Okay, to finish up with Havdalah, we discussed the bracha b'samim, the bracha b'nei eish. Now, we learned also you can make Havdalah really through Tuesday, if you not l'chatchila, but if you didn't make Havdalah Saturday night, you could do it through Tuesday. But the only time you make a bracha on the b'samim or on the candle, that's Saturday night. So let's say when Tisha B'Av is Saturday night and Sunday, so we can't make Havdalah Saturday night because it's Tisha B'Av. So what do? We make Havdalah when Tisha B'Av is over, Sunday night. But then you don't make Havdalah, you make Havdalah, but you don't do the psalm, you don't do the candle, because that's only special for Saturday night.
But you're not allowed to eat anything.
Tisha B'Av, you're not supposed to eat anything anyway. Yeah. But what's interesting, by the way, somebody that, in that scenario, let's say a person, an adult, but sick, they have to eat on Tisha B'Av, right? Before they eat, Sunday afternoon, let's say, or Sunday morning, they have to make Havdalah. Because you're not allowed to eat before Havdalah. That's that aspect of it. Okay. Now, generally speaking, Saturday night. Another important thing, because somebody asked me this Saturday night. What happens if you're listening to Havdalah, but you don't get the Brei Priagofen? I mean, the first paragraph, Hine Kal Yeshuasi, that's just nice tzukim to say. That's not the actual part of Havdalah. What happens if somebody was listening to Havdalah, but whatever, they didn't hear the bracha Brei Priagofen. They just heard the last bracha, Mavdal ben Kodesh l'Chayil. They didn't hear that bracha Brei Priagofen. So the Alter Rebbe, it's in a parentheses, which is questionable. The Alter Rebbe wanted to recheck it, so to speak. But Alter Rebbe writes that your Yaitza Havdalah, even if you didn't hear the bracha Brei Priagofen. The main thing your Yaitza Havdalah, if you make the last bracha is on the Havdalah. What?
Is that the same by Kiddush?
Yeah, probably.
Is it a Kiddush?
Huh?
Is it a Kiddush to say that?
No, the Alter Rebbe says in the Chotz Eagle, but, which means, whatever. Okay, next. Saturday night, it's a mitzvah to have candles lit. It's Motzei Shabbos, you're accompanying the king, the queen, away. It's also a custom to mention Eliyahu Hanavi. This is what it says in halacha. It's not necessarily a Chabad custom officially, but it says in halacha you should mention Eliyahu Hanavi. Why do you mention Eliyahu Hanavi Saturday night? In fact, there's a lot of Eliyahu Hanavi. I mean, the whole thing people sing Motzei Shabbos. Because it says like this, Erev Shabbos, he's not going to come because Jews are too busy getting ready for Shabbos. Shabbos he can't come because he's coming from out of the Tchum, and there's even above 10 Tfachim, it's questionable if there's a sin of not coming from a distant away. So the only time Eliyahu Hanavi really can start coming again on the full week is Saturday night. So because Eliyahu Hanavi is going to tell us Mashiach's coming, so therefore Saturday night, it's a minute, it's brought down in Shechorah, I mean everybody talks about this, that you have to mention Eliyahu Hanavi. It's interesting, there's a story with the Tzemach Tzedek, because again, it says in halacha, Eliyahu Hanavi can come, or Mashiach can come in certain times. So the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Rebbe, was speaking about Mashiach coming, even in a time when the Gemara says Mashiach can't come. So somebody said to him, you're talking about Mashiach should come now, but the Gemara says Mashiach can't come now. So the Tzemach Tzedek said to him the following. In the Gemara, when you learn Gemara, there's a lot of, when the Gemara asks a halachic question, sometimes the Gemara says Teiku. Teiku means it's unanswered. But Teiku stands for Tishbi, which is Eliyahu Tishbi, Yetaretz, Kushiyais, Va'abayis. Eliyahu Hanavi will come and answer all questions. So Tzemach Tzedek said, let Mashiach come, even when the Gemara says he can't, and he'll answer all those questions in the Gemara, and including the question why he came when the Gemara says he can't come. But let him come and we'll worry about the question later. What? Okay, so the mitzvah is, in fact, in halacha it says,
There's no question about that.
You should really wash and have a meitzi for Motzei. You don't need lachamisha, but you wash for a meitzi on Motzei Shabbos. It's known that the Rebbe was more meticulous. Melave Malka, yeah. Melava Malka means accompanying the king. So the Rebbe would wash every Mitzvah Shabbos day, not necessarily. But Melava Malka, the Rebbe always made sure to wash. In halacha it says you should wash. People are lenient.
Meat also and wine?
No, well, yeah, if you want, it's good, why not? You want to know if you could be ate with pizza? That's the big shaila. Teiku. Mashiach will answer that question.
Some people eat, have to have meat and wine, right?
It's an Indian, not only that, it says, another reason why we mentioned Eliyahu Kitzur brings down, it says in the Medrash that every Mitzvah Shabbos, Eliyahu comes into Gan Eden, he sits under the Eitz HaChaim, the Eitz HaChaim that was in Gan Eden, and he writes all the Jews that kept Shabbos that week for merits. So he said, because we want to thank Eliyahu for doing that, so we mentioned, this Kitzur brings down from the Medrash, that's why you do it. It says you should try to keep Sudas Malmak with bread and a warm food. A warm food. In other words, a proper, like it says, why do you eat shol on Shabbos afternoon? One of the reasons, because when you have a hot food, a warm food, it's a delicacy, so to speak.
If you have hot food, your worries go away?
Your voice goes away.
No, your worries.
There is a concept of eating chamin. Mayim chamin, take a warm drink, Mitzvah Shabbos. It's also brought down, Kitzur doesn't bring it down, at least not here. But the Alter Rebbe brings it down that there's a custom to drink water from a well on Mitzvah Shabbos. Why? Because Miriam's well goes Mitzvah Shabbos under the underground waters of the world. And if you take a water from the well, when Miriam's well is just over there, you're taking a drink, it's very good. It's very great luck things, good luck stuff.
Where can you get well water here?
Huh?
Where can you find well water?
You go there, the bottled water. But that's no good because you're not drinking, you're drinking Mitzvah Shabbos, but it wasn't made Mitzvah Shabbos. Okay, the other din we discussed. Okay, next din in Kitzur that we're going to learn is, I'm skipping the malachos of Shabbos whenever we get around to it, we'll discuss the Lamites malachos of Shabbos. But the next din is the laws of Rosh Chodesh and Kiddush Levana. Now, Rosh Chodesh is, there's the solar calendar and there's the lunar calendar. That's the thing, introduction to what, the Jews, the Gemara says, Meinim LeLevana. The Jews go by we have a lunar calendar. We don't have a solar calendar per se. The Jewish months, the Yom Tov is everything in the lunar calendar. The Goyim go by the solar calendar. Now the solar calendar is machlekes how many days exactly, but it's approximately 365 and a quarter days. The lunar year, with the 30-day ones and 29-day ones, have 354 days in the lunar calendar. So you're missing 11 days per year that the lunar calendar is shorter than the solar calendar. So after 3 years, it would be 33 days less. It would be, in 5 years, it would be 55. So what's the problem with that? The problem with that is, the Torah says Pesach has to be in the spring. So the problem is, if you keep, like Lahavdil, Elef Havdol, the Muslim calendar is also lunar, but they don't have a leap year. So therefore their years, so Ramadan, let's say, when they have whatever that month is, so it's always in a different season. Sometimes it could be in the middle of the winter, sometimes summer, sometimes spring, sometimes fall, because it's just, and you're losing 11 days a year. But because Torah says Pesach has to be in the spring, so therefore the Torah instituted, basically, it's Min HaTorah, that you have every so often what's called a leap year. What is a leap year? You add a month. You add a month, 2 others, and then when you add a leap year, so then it basically evens out.
But it's Adoshan is not 33 days, it's 31, 30 days, no? 31 days.
No, but the base,
3 more days are needed.
not three.
The 33 days is coming.
Okay, the way our calendar is set up, which was set up by Hillel, but not the original Hillel. Hillel's grandson, Hillel had a grandson, his name was Hillel. He instituted the calendar we have today, okay? He set it up in a 19-year cycle, okay? Now in that 19-year cycle, there's 12 non-leap years and 7 leap years. And therefore, after 19 years with the 12 regular years, 7 leap years, so then it evens out almost to the day. Okay, not exactly, that's why sometimes Kislev and Cheshvan and Kislev, sometimes at 29 days, sometimes 30 days. So that's to even straighten it out even more. Okay? But that's the concept of Rosh Chodesh. Now, why is Rosh Chodesh important to the Jews? And it says, Chodesh hazeh lachem Rosh Chodashim. Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu mitzvah, the first mitzvah the Jews were given to, by the way, as a nation, was Dabra b'nei Yisrael, speak to the Yidden. The first mitzvah given as a nation was the mitzvah Kiddush HaChodesh. The Bais Din has to sanctify the moon. Nowadays we have calendars. In the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, all through, really, the time of the Gemara, in the Gemara, even up to Abai and Rava, they would still do the witnesses testifying, even though there was a calendar in place, but they would still have witnesses coming to testify. Okay?
Do they do things differently? Didn't line up with the calendar?
They didn't, no. The only thing Bais Din, they didn't use the calendar then. Okay? The Bais Din had to sit and figure out, that's the whole Hilchos Kiddush HaChodesh, the Bais Din had to figure out if it's possible for the moon to be seen on that night. Then when the witnesses come the next day and say that they saw the moon, Bais Din would make that day Rosh Chodesh. But if Bais Din figure it out that according to astronomy, it's impossible for the moon to be seen in Eretz Yisrael, so they knew the next day when the witnesses came and testified they saw the moon, they knew they were liars. So Bais Din figured out, but again, until the witnesses came, even though Bais Din figured out that the moon could be seen, okay, but Bais Din did not proclaim it until 2 witnesses came and testified that they saw the moon. Then when the 2 witnesses came and testified they saw the moon, Bais Din proclaimed that day Rosh Chodesh. And right away they sent out messengers all over the place. Again, they didn't have phone calls and all that. But originally, they didn't send out shluchim. Originally, what they did, there was a mountain by Yerushalayim. They would go on top of the mountain and light big torches. And the next mountain would see it, and the next mountain would see it, and everybody would light torches. So Bais Din would light the initial torch, the next mountain saw it, they lit it, and people were ready. They knew that it's possible for the moon to be seen. Okay, and that's why instantaneously everybody in Eretz Yisrael knew when Rosh Chodesh was. Then the troublemakers, even then, those days there were troublemakers, they would light, just for the fun of it, they would light the fire on the wrong night.
Not for the fun, they were trying to,
Yeah, to mix it up. That's called troublemakers. Troublemakers' definition is they like to make trouble. They like to mix things up. So what did they do? So Bais Din couldn't do that method anymore. They were Jews, non-Jews. So Bais Din had to do something else. So they sent out shluchim. They sent out messengers on horseback, or whatever it was, all over Eretz Yisrael, that people should know when Rosh Chodesh was. Why was it important for people to know when Rosh Chodesh was? Because all the Chagim are based on the Yom Tov. If you want to know when Pesach was the 15th of Nisan, right? So if the Jews had to know when Bais Din proclaimed Rosh Chodesh, to know when Pesach is going to be. When Shavuos they didn't need because it was 50 days after Pesach. But Sukkot, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, that they needed to figure out when Rosh Chodesh was, and then based on that they would have the Yom Tov.
how many days before actual Pesach they will notify them when the Pesach will be?
So, all over Eretz Yisrael, within 2 weeks, everybody knew. The problem was, there are people outside of Eretz Yisrael didn't know. The Shluchim necessarily didn't go there, or they didn't get there. Okay? So that's why they had to keep 2 days. They didn't know, it could be one of 2 days of Rosh Chodesh. Either after 29 days, or after 30 days. Right? So Jews didn't know. That's where the custom of 2 days Yom Tov outside of Eretz Yisrael, because they didn't know, it was a suffix, which day was Rosh Chodesh, and then based on that, they wouldn't know which day is Pesach.
So why some days are, some Rosh Chodesh are 1 day?
Because, okay, so last point before. A lunar month is not, it's really approximately 29 and a half days. A lunar month is, when the moon is reborn, the moon's always there, when it shines, yeah, is 29 and a half days. Now you can't make Rosh Chodesh in the middle of a day. Half a day is like, half your house is in Beverly Hills, half your house is in LA. Depends which side of the street you're on, can't do that. So therefore, Bais Din had no choice but to make 29, Rosh Chodesh after 29 days, and after 30 days. And hopefully it worked out, usually that way. Nobody's saying Kaddish. Okay.